Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe it's right. I want to be like you. Come on, man. I'm the face of boxing. I'm the cash cow. I hold the record with you.
My drop, I know my situation. I want to fight. That's how I feel.
Production.
But it's going to be very difficult for both of us.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Good morning, TBV. Welcome back to another spontaneous edition of the Boxing Voice on this snowy Eastern Thursday morning. We're going to be having trainer Hector Bermudez live on the show to discuss and debate this Robert Easter quote where he says, "I'm ready to make a statement and destroy Javier Fortuna." Well, we'll have the trainer of Javier Fortuna, Hector Bermudez, on, who also trains Abraham Supernova, another Dominican prospect, as well as Mark DeLuca and others. We'll discuss this with him. There's some interesting things about this Fortuna fight due to the pullout of Mikey Garcia. Everyone expected Mikey Garcia to be facing Robert Easter Jr. in a unification. But Javier Fortuna had been in the runnings for a title shot versus Mikey for some time. We broke that news here on the show, and it seems like the tables might have switched from Javier facing Mikey to now him facing Easter. But Easter isn't happy about this fight. So we'll discuss these topics, obviously, with the trainer of Javier Fortuna and just see where is he at and what's his mindset? What exactly is the game plan for this big fight come January 20th on a card that's going to get a lot of attention. So let me go ahead and just go ahead and call Hector and get this thing, going, because it's time, right? It is time. Let's patch him through. So now I'm doing this all alone. Obviously, got no producer or anything like that. So I will be back. I guess I should give you guys some music in the meantime. Where do we got? Here we go.
ThaBoxingvoice.com. All the guys want. I want what Mayweather got. I want what Mayweather got. You done bust your ass like Mayweather. I was trying to fight every fighter. I sacrificed a lot
ThaBoxingvoice Production.
to get to where I got to.
What do you bring?
All right. Quick intermission. We are back with Hector Bermudez, the trainer of Javier Fortuna. Hector, good morning. First and foremost, thank you for taking the time out on this very snowy and probably dangerous East Coast morning. You sound like you're outside and about already. How's everything going for you?
I appreciate you having me on. Thank you, Nesto. No, the morning is fine. It's everything, I take it as a regular day. There is outside of the gym, there is a storm, so the best place for me to be is in the gym where it's warm. But all is going well. Training camp is going well. I have Javier here with me too.
That's amazing. So
ready for your questions?
During this storm, you guys are already in the gym, huh? I actually called my gym. I train every day at Glen Tapia's. I called 3 coaches. They're all closed. No one's coming to the gym due to the storm, but you and Javier are in the neck of it, because I'm pretty sure it's a lot more inches of snow in Boston, right?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy out here. But I'm pretty sure that the trainers, I don't know what your trainers got going on, but I'm pretty sure they have something going on as important, like a IBF, the title fighter. I'm sure they'll be in the gym too.
That is true, and there is a lot of importance on this fight. I wanna before we get into the fight a little bit, ask you if you could move away from any of the background noise and just kind of give us a brief kind of bio background on yourself. Let the world know where Hector Bermudez came from, how he got started in the boxing and become a boxing trainer.
I don't know. Can you hear me? How's the noise in the background here?
No, you sound perfect now.
Well, I mean, I've been born and bred into the sport. You know, my family's into boxing. Uncles, fathers, everybody's a boxing trainer. So it's just naturally that I became one. I've been training fighters since I was 15 years old, actually. I was fighting myself. I burned my hands and I couldn't fight no more. So I've been nonstop training fighters since I was 15 years old. Took time out, went to school for exercise science, sports nutrition. You know, so I'm pretty well rounded in the sport. I grew up in it. You know, I had opponents that I traveled with. You know, so they used to get cut. I was fascinated with that. So I'm a great cut man. I do I wrap hands very good, and people call me all over the world to actually wrap their hands. I used to wrap Tyson Fury's hands. So, you know, I'm well rounded in the sport. Been in it my whole life. I had a world champion when I was 21 years old by the name of Vernon Phillips. Trained Tony Marshall. I don't know if you know, this is going back. I don't know how long you guys been around. Now, you know, I'm with Jonathan Guzman, you know, who's the ex-IBF champion, and Javier Fortuna and a couple other prospects coming up.
Mark DeLuca as well, right?
Yeah, the Italian bazooka. Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome. We're trying to make the weight down to 147, and Nesto, you know, I don't bullshit you. If he makes 147, I'm telling you, there's another player in the welterweight division there.
Speaking of players, you've also brought Danny O'Connor back from a very scary knockout loss to Tito Bracero. And he's, I believe, now 4 or 5-0 since that loss with your assistance, correct?
No, I don't train Danny O'Connor right now. I'm very good friends with him. He moved. He don't live near the gym, but we're always in contact. And you know, I praise him. I give him any advice I could.
All right. Well, let's get into the fight that everybody is here to discuss and talk about. I guess I want to ask you first and foremost, how did the decision come from Mikey Garcia to Robert Easter? Because obviously we have it on, you know, a good source saying that Javier was supposed to face Mikey Garcia. Now you're facing the longer, taller IBF champion in Robert Easter Jr.
Well, Fortuna, of course, Fortuna is the boss. Fortuna wants to be a world champion. Mikey Garcia, I know he has his own path he's taken, and he's going against Lipinets. And you know, Fortuna made a mistake in losing his focus against Sosa, and that was like the only time he really, you know, well, that's the only time that he got bested, where he lost his title. But anything else is he always won. He's a winner. He's always find a way to win. He wins. So you know, he don't feel comfortable not being a world champion. He just wants to be a world champion. He's not on the table right now because he got Lipinets. He don't want to wait. He feel that he could beat Easter, so we'll just go the Easter route and then see if we can unify against Garcia.
Now, it's funny that you say that Fortuna feels he can beat Easter because Easter's been very vocal saying that this isn't the fight that he wanted. He wanted the unification with Mikey Garcia, and because of that, Fortuna will pay and be destroyed and used as an example, a statement. Style differences between Mikey and Robert Easter. Does it change anything for Team Fortuna?
Well, I expect Easter to be vocal. He's promoting himself. We don't take nothing personal on it. Now, a lot of people probably exaggerate the things that he's saying. And stylistically, with Garcia, yeah, of course, there's a huge difference. In this fight, we punching up instead of punching straight, and we might be putting pressure instead of boxing. So it's probably about 75% the other way. So it's total opposite.
Have you watched any tape on Robert Easter and I guess primarily the Denis Shakakov fight and the Richard Comey fight? People feel those were tight fights where he gave up his height and reach. And are you expecting him to continue to fight in that fashion, not utilizing his height and reach the way a Tommy Hearns would in the past?
You know, of course we watch those fights. I mean, I watch them. I watch every day. I'm disciplined in the fact that I'm just studying this. You know, this is habits. You know, I'm studying the fact that you know, I'll give you a secret of it, and I'm studying the fact that he doesn't even listen to the corner. The corner want him to box and use the jab, and I think he has a lot of heart. He's a fighter at heart, and he likes to mix it in, give up his height, and fight on the inside. Which, you know, I mean, he's very talented. He's fast. I guess that we're going to have to see if he's able to handle Fortuna's power. And hopefully he would have to reinvent himself, because I'm seeing the last couple of fights, and, you know, I don't see him beating Fortuna that way.
Now, some would say that Fortuna doesn't listen to his corner. In the Douglas fight, I'm sure you were not, I guess, pleased with his, I guess his willingness to engage so much when he can easily move and use his range. You know, Fortuna's a good mover and a good boxer when he chooses to, but in the Douglas fight, he kind of slugged it out.
Well, he got hit in the Douglas fight, and you know, Fortuna had these mental lapses where he gets emotional. We try to. That's one of my things I always try to work on. And just be cool. Just use it. It's a sport. It's a sport. It's not a street fight. It's a sport. Keep it breathing. You know, relax and do your best. Do what we worked on. In that round, that first round, Fortuna got, I think it was like a stiff jab that Douglas caught him with, and it pissed him off that he got hit, and it was a mental lapse that he just had to get it back, and he just went for it and got caught. But in totality, he have to do the fighting. But he does listen. And he listens very well in that fight, because in the last round, we was boxing him. We had that lapse in the first round, and then after that, we boxed him. And in the last round, I actually told him to because I knew, even though it looks like he's been down before. He got knocked down in Chicago, but it was behind the head and the rep part of the knockdown, which it wasn't. And then besides that, it was he got caught with Sosa, which is a strong puncher. But Fortuna, you know, he would see the shot. Fortuna can take a shot, and he's not weak chin. So at that point, at the last round, I see that Douglas couldn't hurt him anymore. So and I seen Douglas slowing down, and he had a lot in the tank. Fortuna seemed a little wary in the mid-range, but he caught his second win. And he was, I told him to go for it. So he does listen. He went for it. He actually listens more than a lot of fighters do. But ultimately, he had to make the adjustment in the round on his own.
Now, is there any reassurance that you can give, I guess, the Fortuna fight fans out there about the weight discrepancy? I mean, all firsthand, many will say, well, Robert Easter is naturally the bigger guy. He started his career at 135. Fortuna started at featherweight, I believe 126. But that isn't actually true. Fortuna started at 135. You had to actually get him down to 126. He's fought at 135, 132, 130. So do you feel that your fighter is equally as, naturally suited for this division as the current champion in Robert Easter Jr.?
Oh, no, definitely. Not for his fans out there, that's not an issue at all. I would actually be willing to bet that Fortuna would be the bigger guy in the ring. Weight-wise, I know he would be the bigger guy in the ring, not height, of course, but weight-wise, Fortuna will come in probably heavier than Easter. And so the weight is not an issue. Okay. Weight is not an issue.
Now, in terms of this fight,
we have a nutritionist. We have a nutritionist that comes along and measure out his body fat, and he's trying to, he's gonna be pretty good in going into that ring. He's not gonna be a pushover.
I was about to jump around, but you know what? Let's stick on the nutritioning part and the strength and conditioning and him being a beast on fight night. I have to ask, his last two fights were in Santo Domingo. I'm Dominican. I know how that level of opposition is in good old Dominican Republic. So I want to ask, were you at least at those fights?
On the last fight, I wasn't. The one before that, I was. I had another fight that same day. But a lot of, he needs ring time. I think that's a big issue what happened with the Sosa fight. Fortuna needs ring time. And so those fights is for that. We don't sleep on opponents, so he trains hard for him. The kid trains hard. That's all he does. So those fights, the last fight I wasn't. Fight before that one, and all the other ones I was. But he definitely just needs a ring time, just like everybody else.
So in your opinion, those fights were more about getting rounds in after a tough Douglas fight?
Yeah, and also, we chased the notion of fighting Mikey Garcia and other fighters, and this fight ain't coming up, so okay, we'll fight where it's suitable for us at the moment. Samson just keeps him busy, He know the importance of keeping his fighter busy and sharp.
So now, in your expert opinion, is that better for your fighter in Fortuna to be at least getting these two opponents that maybe the fight fans don't know, but did give them the rounds, did keep them, in the year conditioned, and then going into an Easter fight? Or would it have been better him just going from a Douglas who is on a higher level than the other two opponents that he had afterwards and going into the Easter fight?
No, I mean, just like in everything else, the body does better when it's warmed up. So, I just think that those fights, I'd rather have him fight than not fight. Definitely, that's answering your question. To go from Douglas, which was a long time ago, to then get someone like Easter without having no ring time and be rusty, I don't think that's a good idea. Not a good idea for someone like Fortuna, who boxes off of instincts. You know, so he's an instinctual fighter. So he needs, he needs to look at punches coming at him, and on the job kind of training, instead of just mitt work and sparring.
I definitely get that. So I guess this is Fortuna's big fight, and I'm wondering, how excited are you as a trainer to watch your star fighter be on this undercard? How are you receiving the fact that your fight actually landed on this card being a co-main event? And I mean specifically Errol Spence and Lamont Peterson.
No, my job is to study the fighter, mold my guy, and having fight. I don't get caught up. It could be a fight in DR, or it could be if you see anytime I won a world title, I'm emotionless. I'm like, okay, on to the next. It's just another fight for me. Actually, I don't mean to downplay for other trainers, but it's just my personality. I work hard, I study, so for me, it's actually me studying Easter style, and we have a game plan, we have a strategy intact, we're going over that every day, and then it's like, then my chess game is over, his chess game starts, so now it's on him to just try to play out what we worked on.
So,
but the way I feel about it, it's me strategizing for another fight.
So no added pressure, knowing that there will be a bunch of extra eyeballs due to the popularity and high demand of Errol Spence Jr.
Oh no, sir, no, not at all, not one bit.
Now, you kind of spoke, and
I do my job regardless. I do my job regardless to the best of my ability. Every day I'm studying the guy. Every day I got notebooks, and then I consolidate. So I'm doing my job. My job is to get this kid ready. So as long as I do my job, there's no pressure at all. There's only I felt a little pressure when Jonathan Guzman lost the title because he wasn't prepared. And I knew he wasn't prepared because he had visa problems. He couldn't get to me. He couldn't get to my training camp here. So when he got to my training camp, we was already going to Japan. And when we went to Japan, all I did was I just put the program together for the weight cut. So that was pressure because I'm not prepared. I know my fighter didn't spend enough time with me. He's in DR, visa problems, couldn't get to me. And then when he finally got to me, I just knew. So yeah, I do feel the pressure then. But when I'm prepared, and it's like absolutely no pressure. I rehearse from the locker room to the walkout to his name being announced to the first round.
Now
it plays out like that. So
you kind of said the route that you want to go. And this is my last question. I know you're pressed for time. We want to thank you again for taking the time out to give us this quick interview. You kind of mentioned the route that you guys wanted to go. You said, you wanted Mikey, you didn't get it, so you'll get this fight with Easter. Fortuna, sure he can win, and then you'll unify with Mikey. Mikey, obviously, like you said also earlier, he seems to be on a different path. He's in charge of his own career. He may end up staying at 140. What would be because Fortuna obviously is not on the line, what would be your best next go-to?
So he has a great promoter in Samson Lukowicz. So at this point, with Fortuna being a complete fighter, we can make adjustments in the corner. We just wait on him to do his job, and I do my job, and manager does his, and we go from there.
Well, all right, Hector.
I'm basically, honestly, what I do, I just go from one fighter and get him ready, and then I go to the next fighter to get them ready, and this is all I do every day, all day. You know, every day, all day. This is what I do from one fighter, strategizing. So, you know, whoever they put the name up, they give me 3 names. I'll choose one, and we'll go from there.
Oh, wait a minute. They gave you 3 names. I want to know who are the other 2.
Well, no, actually, for Easter fight or world title fight, his name came up, and we were like, definitely. Not like they gave us Easter and 3 other ones. But for Easter, it was just Easter, and we chose him. But if there's a title defense, as in the past, or if it's just a regular fight, they'll give me a few names, and we'll go from there.
That's a nice option to have. Listen, Hector, I want to thank you again for your time. You've been great. We can't wait to get you back. I'm going to make that insane 5-hour drive out to you guys. I swear. Look, I wish it wouldn't have snowed because it would have made it easier. Because now I'm going to Cali. I'll be in Cali for a whole week on January 15th, and I got to go to Dallas to see Earl, but I'm definitely coming to Boston to check you guys out. I can't even believe Fortuna's in the gym in this snowstorm. If you want to put him on, and I promise you to keep him on 30 seconds, just have him say a hello there in Spanish and we can keep it moving. I know that you guys are in the gym. We don't need to ask him absolutely any questions. Maybe a hello and a goodbye. 10, 15 seconds, all good.
Okay, give me 1 second. Hold on a second.
Yeah, so he's going to get him. Fortuna's in the gym. Can you believe it? I mean, if you're in the East Coast, you're experiencing a crazy, freakish snowstorm. They're talking about, I don't know, like somewhere, I don't know how many inches. You check it out, but it's pretty bad out there. Fortuna and his trainer both in the gym, so that's pretty dope. We'll get him on. A couple of words. I don't really want to ask him any questions. The language barrier, we don't have Doomsday Lion as the translator on at the moment. Today is Thursday, though, folks, so we will be having our 7 p.m. Eastern show. And we have a couple of other prospects we're going to be interviewing on the show. Hector, you back?
Yes.
Hey, Neto, ¿qué lo que? Dime a ver.
¿Cómo está, mi hermano?
Estamos bien, gracias a Dios. Listo por la batalla.
Felicidades. Estoy contento que te dan dando esta pelea y tú tienes tu oportunidad de demostrarle al mundo que tú eres un campeón. Y ahora va a ser historia, porque si gana, va a ser el único dominicano que gana 3 títulos mundial en 3 divisiones. So, estamos atrás de ti, el apoyo está ahí.
Sí, no que si gano, que vamos a ganar con Dios por delante. Eso es positivo, ya eso está escrito, eso se puede escribir, se puede coger adelante ya por eso. Vamos a hacer historia el 20 de enero, si Dios quiere, en Boxing Center en Brooklyn.
Ok, Fortuna, pues gracias. Héctor, gracias otra vez y que pasen buena. Nos vemos en Brooklyn, enero 20. Guys, there you have it. Live with Javier Fortuna and Hector Bermudez. Just really great. I'll just translate there for you guys. You know, I was just telling them that the Dominican community is obviously behind him. He's a 2-time world champion. If he wins this fight with Robert Easter, that will make him a 3-time world champion, the first Dominican ever to do that. So it is history in the making if he can get it done. Very proud to hear that he is in the gym in this snowstorm. Him and his trainer, I mean, and it's early, guys. I mean, I've been texting Hector since 9 in the morning scheduling this, and, you know, we tried to get it done at 10:30. I was a little busy. We had to push it till 11. Here we are wrapping it up. Big fight on a big card. You know, we got Earl Spence Jr. making his defense of his IBF title versus Lamont Peterson. And then you got Robert Easter Jr. making his defense of his IBF title versus Javier El Abejon Fortuna. So you already know. This was supposed to be a Patreon-only exclusive, and Patreon.com was acting up when I kept trying to schedule this. So all you wonderful people got this absolutely as a spontaneous one because I had to do it. I really did. Yeah, I know my Spanish. I could be better. I just think that it's difficult to do the interview in English translated the question in Spanish, the answer in Spanish, come back to English. Very, very difficult to do that. But I do it when I have to. And Fortuna, possibly making us proud. And if he wins this fight over Robert Easter, I mean, listen, Robert Easter is a solid champion. So Fortuna will get his credit. And Fortuna's moving up, so this is nice. Once again, thank all you guys that tuned in. Don't forget to head on over to iTunes. Drop us a 5-star review. Helps with the visibility of the show and, helps us get more callers and, new characters. And don't forget to visit us at patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice, where we just created a new tier. Well, it's actually an old tier, but for all those that are on there, because we have such a big amount of let me get to that. I'm going to the page now as we speak, fellas. Don't worry. And ladies, because we have actually more women listening than men, which is credit to me looking so handsome. I know. Okay, so round 10, we have over 30 people signed up to round 10. So it's a popular tier. And on this tier, you automatically receive a TBV beer koozie. I wish I had one. I took them upstairs. I don't have one here in the studio. I usually show it. But you receive a TBV beer koozie. And now what we're going to do is to make this a little more fun and exciting. Round 10 will now become a monthly raffle. And also another great thing about the Patreon is now we have someone in charge of the delivery of the rewards. There's no sense in lying. We all know that the delivery of the rewards have been a bit slow, snail-like. All right, I'm accepting the blame and speaking the truth. But now there is a system in play, so your deliveries will be out promptly. Remember that no deliveries are done until a 30 to 90 day period. You have to be a patron for 30 to 90 days, depending on the tier. Then your reward will be shipped out. So back to round 10. Not only do you get an automatic TBV beer koozie that you can also put, glasses and stuff in to keep cool, whatever, but you're also going to be in a monthly raffle. We'll probably make Robert Hearn the person in charge of monthly, letting us know who won by doing a raffle. And you will win exclusive boxing paraphernalia, miscellaneous press kits. It could be fight day hand wraps. I mean, I got a hand wrap here from Earl Spence Jr., I think from the Chris Algieri fight, right? It could be a signed glove. Even though we already have a tier for receiving an autographed glove every 2 months, we're also going to include a random autographed glove being raffled in this raffle. But it can be anything. It could be a glove. It could be a press kit. It could be a shirt. It could be a TBV shirt. It could be a Keith One-Time Thurman shirt. It could be a Danny Garcia shirt. It could be an Everlast shirt. It could be some Hiscos punch trackers. It can be, I don't know, a Al Bernstein autobiography. It can be whatever boxing paraphernalia TBV acquires in its hard days of work for its listeners. And we'll be sure to do one monthly. And like I said, the delivery moving on out for the new year will be prompt and executed in a timely fashion. All TBV Patreon only shirts will be sent out this week. Shoot me. I know I said Christmas. Shoot me. I don't have a fucking apprentice. There's no interns, none of that, all right? It's difficult. And a lot of you need to update your addresses. I text a bunch of you today not knowing what to do. Some of you I'm going to see in Cali in about 11 days. So I'm bringing your shirts with me, right? I'm going to go through. I'm going to take this time to just talk directly to you guys. Let's see. All right. And I'll tell you who I've already packaged and is ready to be shipped out. Abe, yours is on its way. Well, will be on its way in the next 24 to 48 hours, all right? Shoot me. There's a blizzard out there. The post office is closed. I'm just saying. Call it if you don't believe me. Abe, it's coming. Smoking Jay, it's coming. Neil White, it's coming. Jose, I'll see you in Cali. Should I bring it? Stainless, it's coming. Compa, it's coming. And compa, I need you to confirm with me your address. Last time I sent you something, they stole it. Please confirm with me you want me to ship to this address again, because that thing you've been asking for, I got you. But I need a legitimate address. Castle Hill Gill is coming. Matter of fact, yes, it's coming, right? Pittsburgh Brew, it's coming. Alvaro, it's coming. Anthony, it's coming. Jabron, what's the deal? I got to double check that I put you down. Okay, good thing I'm doing that. Jabron. Yeah, dead silence. What happens when there's no co-host? You know what I mean? They all sleeping beauties. Okay, so back to Jabron. Dempsey is coming. Ken, KM Star, that's coming. Cruz, you'll be in Cali. What do you want me to do? I think I already told you. Yeah, Cruz, I'm bringing yours. Christian is coming. Danny in Tampa. Yo, it's coming, my friend. I should hook you up. I'm gonna see if I can remember. You know what? Keep reminding me, Danny. Excuse me. Oh my God, I'm calling you Danny. I'm dyslexic for real. I'm telling you guys. It's Dennis. Dennis in Tampa that drives to Orlando. Don't think that because I called you Danny, I don't know who I was talking to. I totally know who I'm talking to. But anyway, I need some chapstick. I'm gonna send you more than one thing because you are the man and all that. So just remind me. All right. You only got 2 days to remind me. So just keep sending me Patreon messages. Alex Limon, I'll see you in Cali. So I'm bringing that. Fugatti, see you in Cali, bringing that. Rob, you got it, but I'm sending you more. Walter, sending Butterbean, you'll be in Cali, bringing you that. Danny, Terpenes, I'm making you your exclusive. You know that. Hipster's biggest fan, sending you that. JD, I spoke to you, sending you that. Kenneth, sending you that. Dempsey, you actually don't have a last name there. I think your shit is only named Ryan there. So I'm putting Ryan, a.k.a. Dempsey. I hope you get that. Kendani, you getting that? Sterling, I'm sending yours with Coach Mitty, Leonard Sterling. You're my man. And I'm actually sending you more than one. I think whatever. But I'm going to hook you up because you're like the commenter of the year for me, bro. You've always been very great on the comments. You know, you're consistent. They're long and you know, you just took your time, you know. So whatever. I'm hooking you up. Rachel, she already knows she's being hooked up. And Muhammad, you will be hooked up, but you don't even have an address here. You know what I mean? And you live in West Africa. So you know how it is. TBV gives you love whenever they sees you. Now, remember, these are Patreon-only gifts, regardless if you already received a reward. This is a Christmas gift. It is late. This is a Christmas gift. Everybody on here should have received something already. I'm just sending, and Butterbean, you probably have not, I want to say. So this is, you know, I'll just give you extra too. But everyone else, I'm sure JD and all, and I know Hipster's biggest fan and Kenneth, all these people. Leonard, I remember sending something to the UK for Leonard, Christopher Dan. But the point is, these are Christmas gifts for being 15 and above, you know, for being punches and bunches or being a ringer or a boomerang or being a pound for pounder, you know. I would just, those are just thank yous. But again, Patreon will be executing deliveries at a more timely fashion now that we have that under control. So, in closing, we're out, basically. This is it. I've rambled long enough. See you guys later. I'm your host, SGTO, bringing you a show, and I gotta go. Find me on Instagram or Twitter. Goodbye.